News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nathan Hager.
And I'm Karen Moscow.
Karen, we begin with the latest on the government shutdown. It is about to lead to a partial shutdown of the nation's airspace. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says the Federal Aviation Administration will begin cutting flight capacity by 10% at 40 high-volume locations starting tomorrow. That's to alleviate pressure on air traffic controllers who have been working through the shutdown without pay.
I anticipate there will be additional disruptions. There will be frustration. We are working with the airlines. They're going to work with passengers. But in the end, our sole role is to make sure that we keep this airspace as safe as possible.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy made that announcement alongside FAA Administrator Brian Bedford. And we get more from Bloomberg Aviation correspondent Sid Phillip.
This would actually be a really bad step for the airline industry because they're going to have to reduce flights in order to actually make these cuts. And so we're going to see a situation where airlines are forced to have to cut their flights, cut routes, and cut services to destinations, which could lead to some disruption for passengers who book travel, especially as we go into the holidays. And we have to see how long this shutdown lasts.
Bloomberg's Sid Phillip reports the cuts are expected to be staggered, with 4% of flights reduced tomorrow, 5% on Saturday. Sources tell Bloomberg News international flights will not be affected.
Well, along with the shutdown, Nathan, the big wins for Democrats in this week's elections have shifted the political landscape. President Trump says the midterm stakes are set after New Yorkers elected Democratic Socialist Zoran Mamdani to be their next mayor.
The decision facing all Americans could not be more clear. We have a choice between communism and common sense. Does that make sense to you? Common sense. It's common sense or communism.
President Trump spoke at the American Business Forum in Miami, but Democratic Congressman Ted Lieu says there's a reason why voters in blue and purple states picked their candidates on Tuesday.
Under the policies of Donald Trump and Republicans, inflation continues to increase, food prices have gone up, and healthcare costs are skyrocketing.
Well, of course, Karen, Zoran Mamdani was one of the big Democratic winners on election night. Now, some of the world's business leaders are adapting to a new reality. A critic of capitalism is set to run the world's financial capital. J.P. Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon tells CNN he's willing to help.
I'm hoping any mayor does what's right to help the citizens of that city. And if you do it right, it benefits all the citizens. If you do it wrong, it hurts all the citizens. And so, yeah, I would help someone if they wanted my help.
That was J.P. Morgan's Jamie Dimon. Zoran Mamdani says he's willing to work with the J.P. Morgan CEO.
I look forward to meeting with Jamie Dimon and meeting with anyone who is concerned about the future of our city and is invested in the vitality of that same city. And these are not very different from the conversations I had over the course of this campaign with many business leaders.
New York Mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani and Citigroup CEO Jane Fraser says, quote, "We hope to work with the mayor-elect on making the city an even better place for our people and clients to live and work."
Well, Nathan, the Supreme Court heard arguments about whether President Trump can unilaterally impose sweeping tariffs. It is a pivotal test of just how far a president's authority can reach. And Bloomberg's Amy Morris reports from Washington.
Justices seemed skeptical of Trump's power to unilaterally impose sweeping tariffs. Several conservative justices signaled their concerns. Chief Justice John Roberts questioned the executive branch taxing authority.
The vehicle is imposition of taxes on Americans, and that has always been the core power of Congress.
But Solicitor General John Sauer, defending the tariffs, argues this is not a tax.
These are regulatory tariffs. They are not revenue-raising tariffs. The fact that they raise revenue is only incidental.
A decision could come by mid to late December. In Washington, Amy Morris, Bloomberg Radio.
Amy, thanks. Let's turn to the markets. Now, futures are a little changed following yesterday's gains on Wall Street. Qualcomm shares are down 2.5%. The largest maker of smartphone processors became the latest chip maker to post profits above estimates and deliver an upbeat forecast, but not enough for outsized expectations. The stock is up 40% since April.
Well, Nathan, can we say Snap shares are snapping higher? Because they are up. They are up 19%. That is snapping. The company has announced a $400 million partnership with Perplexity AI to incorporate its AI-powered search engine into Snapchat. The deal gives Snap a new business line and puts the social messaging company more squarely into the mix around AI chatbots and assistants. And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Karen Moscow.
I'm Nathan Hager, and this is Bloomberg.